Al Pacino and Dustin Hoffman couldn't do much in the 1970s without being compared to one another. Stacking the actors against each other was so common that one producer suggested the two put the rivalry to bed in classic New York City fashion, in the boxing ring. Pauline Kael, the renowned movie critic, used to say that I was influenced by Dustin Hoffman. Actually, what she said about me in Serpico was that I was often indistinguishable from Dustin Hoffman. Pacino wrote in his new memoir, Sonny Boy. It didn't stop there. Pacino continued. There must have been something in the air because the comparisons were flying left and right. It got to the point where the great theater producer and impresario, Alexander H. Cohen, a guy I liked very much, suggested that Dustin and I get together at Madison Square Garden and fight each other in a boxing match. And he really meant it. But the Scarface star was under no illusion about how he would fare. I said to Cohen, let me just tell you straight out, Dustin will beat me. He works out. He'll knock me out, he wrote. Still, Pacino took the challenge in stride, joking, I thought Alexander would be better off asking Meryl Streep to fight me instead. But then I got a little worried. What if she wins? Luckily, the fight never got off the ground. At the time of Pacino's ascendancy in the early 70s with films like The Godfather, Serpico, and Dog Day Afternoon, Hoffman was already an established star. Like Pacino, his second-ever film marked his breakthrough. But where Pacino first attracted attention for 1971's The Panic in Needle Park, critical reception was mixed, whereas Hoffman's performance in 1967's The Graduate made him an instant golden boy. He'd already been nominated for an Oscar for that performance, and for 1969's Midnight Cowboy, when Pacino became the name on everybody's lips. Pacino explains that there was a time in the 70s when Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, and myself were thought of as a group, as actors who were somehow interchangeable with one another. He reasoned that a guy like Jack Nicholson was separate from that. Robert Redford was separate because he, Hoffman, and De Niro were considered these three New York actors who had made it. Even though Dustin had grown up in L.A., we had cultivated ourselves and come into our own in New York. Despite the ginned-up rivalry, Pacino glows with admiration when writing about Hoffman. I didn't dare compare myself to him. I loved him in The Graduate and as Ratso Rizzo in Midnight Cowboy. I always thought that Dustin was a brilliant actor, but I didn't feel we were on similar wavelengths, he noted. Pacino remembers meeting Hoffman once and coming away from the encounter inspired. He was out with his wife and a big dog, and I said hello to him as people were coming up to him for autographs. After Pacino mentioned they were both members of the Actors Studio, Hoffman told him, "Don't worry, this is going to be happening to you soon." In fact, Pacino and Hoffman both starred in the 1990 film Dick Tracy, directed by its star, Warren Beatty, and co-starring Madonna. The pair's careers would continue to mirror each other as time went by. Over the years, they racked up 7, Hoffman, and 8, Pacino, Oscar noms apiece, with Hoffman taking home 2, Best Actor for Kramer vs. Kramer and Rain Man, and Pacino won Best Actor for Scent of a Woman. They both worked with directors like Mike Nichols, Sidney Pollack, and Francis Ford Coppola, and continue to cite the influence of the Strasberg method they learned while pupils at the Actors Studio.